Hello! Today we're going to rip the passenger side door off, pull its guts out, winding mechanism, glass, interior door card, and have a look at the rust on it. We'll also be stripping it back and repairing the rust and hopefully putting some epoxy primer on it. Yeah, anyway, thanks for tuning in. Cool, it's time to remove the passenger door and yeah, I'll show you how to do it by yourself. Make sure the door's unlocked first and able to be opened. Just going to strip down this piece and see how bad the rust is in the back. So back here with the passenger side door, all I'm going to concentrate on now is finally stripping off the rest of the paint around the jamb. And once we finish stripping that paint off around the jamb, we'll flip it over, move to the other side, strip the paint off, and look at these rust repairs. Bring you down here and show you what it looks like to begin with. Alright, so the paint has been stripped off around this jamb. This piece in here is a little bit hard to get to, so the grinder doesn't really enable me to go in there, but I'll grab a smaller fitting that actually sits on the drill, and we'll see if we can strip it out like that, because it's a little bit bit of a smaller wheel, so the wheel should get in there quite easily. Again, a couple of little pieces of paint left over, but not too bad. It was a bit of a shame. I actually did break the rubber taking it off this door, so that happens, I suppose. So I'm only going to paint on the underside to here. That's where I'm just going to paint to, so I'll strip this out. I'll just paint this edge here, just so if you do see the edge of the door card, the door card's sitting on there, and you can slightly see in, at least it looks like it's all painted, like all uniform. But there's no point in painting all underneath here, because you're not going to see it anyway. Alright, so the bottom corner down here is pretty good, well, from this side anyway. Here's a bit of the rust. We'll come in nice and close for you. So there's a little bit of rust here which has to be addressed. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet, but when we flip over we'll have a look at it. And if we pan across, we'll just see that the rest of the door is actually not too bad. There's a tiny bit of rust here, surface rust, but that's really not that bad. And here obviously where the hinges go. So there was a little bit of surface rust on where those hinges go as well. Cool. Alright, I'll get to it. So I've flipped the door over, and I'm going to start stripping the paint off this side. There's a few little parts on the other side I still need to finish off, but I'll grab the paint stripper out and run them over just before it comes time to painting. Look, there's a couple of rust spots on this one, obviously, showed you before. I'm going to strip them back first now, and then have a look at them and see how bad they are, and then move on to stripping the rest of the paint off the whole panel. Yeah, apart from that, cue music. So here's my slight bubbling of my paint, and the filler you can see, which is bare to the air, so that's kind of a bit interesting. Looks like there's a little bit of rust down here too, so we'll have a look at it
The rest of the door does look pretty good. Look, I guarantee this whole thing will have filler through it. Whoever repaired it before did an alright job. Yeah, anyway, let's get to it. So I'll strip this section off first, and then we'll move on to taking the rest of the panel. Alright, so these are strip discs, and they will strip off the paint without doing too much damage to the actual panel underneath. I'll show you how quick they work. Alright, so what we can see here quickly is we can see the panel underneath, we can see the filler, and then we can see the high build primer or whatever that kind of primer is that they've used, and then we've got the paint on top. So what we'll do is we'll hack through them. So I knew there was going to be filler here. There's a little bit, there's not a lot, but yeah, I'll strip it off and go again. Change of plans is we're just going to strip the whole door first and work on the rust repairs, and then get it ready for paint. Cheers. Alright, so I'm going to grab a wire wheel and we're going to cut out the filler there. So it's flatter now, so all I'll do is cut these bits out and re-weld them, and we should be good to go. Okay, well this is the part of rust that I've repaired, and what we're going to do is we're going to replace this piece that I've removed with this piece here, and that will just slot up against that piece there and up against there. Sorry. So if we push down on that, should be able to line that up. And all I'll do is just make sure that this line on the front here is lined up. I'll weld that new section in. Okay, so here's the welded line and the piece that I've just put in. What we're going to do is we're just going to tidy up this edge a little bit, bring it out enough so it meets here and here. So what we'll do is we'll run a ruler along the edge, and we'll see which parts are low and which ones need to be brought out, and then we'll see which ones are high and which ones can be knocked back. And then we'll get the flap disc out on the grinder and we'll just tidy it up. Let's do it. Alright, well you think I could find my metal ruler? Not at all. Anyway, what I'm going to use, I'm just going to use the saw, the back of the saw edge, just so I can see whether or not it's straight. As you can see, this line here is starting to come back, and what we'll do is we'll just keep continuing to do that. I'm just going to flip it over and do the other side.
So this is a strip disc which fits into the drill. This one's worn down a bit, so it used to be a bit bigger, but it'll help me actually get into these little parts down here. So it'll help me get in there. There's just a little bit of paint caught in there, and we'll just kind of run that round quickly, and we should be done. There's a tiny bit of paint caught just down here, just where the metal folds, which I can't get at, so I might just scratch it out. Just going to throw some stripper on it instead. Yeah, so it is nice to run over it a few times. Like I said, just run over it when you feel. If you feel happy with it, just run over it one more time. It's not going to hurt, and just gets rid of the residue of the rest of the metal and the grease and any bits of foreign objects that you don't want there. Alright, so I've wiped it down a couple of times off camera, and we're just going to continue to wipe it down again. I think this must be 5 times, 6 times I think I've wiped it down. And just keep going. It's not going to hurt, and I've got to use up the rest of the thinners in the gun anyway, because I've just got to throw it to waste anyway, so I may as well use it for prepping the surface. Door jambs are particularly oily because of build up over years, so just take your time. Alright, so we're going to mix up some 4:1. Here's our measuring container. Don't know whether you can see the markings on the side. The same on the outside, so 3:1, 2:1. You go around to 4:1, and it's got an A and a B, and then little lines. So what you do is you fill your paint up to the A, and then you fill the hardener up to the B, and then the reducer comes in these lines, so you get to mix it, and however thin you want it, however reduced you want it, is where you stop. So throw some thinners in another container, just get it ready, so it's easier to pour. Just wipe down my stirring stick, just with some thinners. Make sure it's clean. Now wash your hands. I wash my hands up to my elbows and change my shirt so that it's nice and clean before we paint. Just grab my stirring stick. Now it will be stuck on the bottom a little bit, so just make sure you lift it off. Alright. 2 things you'll need: a bit of rag with thinners on it, and just wipe around the lip of the paint tin where you want to stick the masking tape. Now the reason for this is it stops us filling up the lip with paint, and it enables us to still keep it nice and clean, so when we close it we get a nice seal back on there. So if we grab the tape, just tape a V into the top of it. Alright, so we're going to fill it up to 4:1, probably the second mark. I think the second mark will give me enough to do both sides of the door. Grab a, this is my mixing, I guess, tool. It's just the thick paddle pop sticks. They're cheap and you just throw them out after each use, so that way you're always enabled that you've got a nice clean one when you go in to mix the new lot of paint. Now, I do have filters, but this is only the epoxy coating, so I'm not going to worry about the filters. So we're going to go up to this one here, this A, right there, and then we're going to fill that A up to that B with hardener. Don't pour too quick, you just make a mess of your nice piece of tape you just made. So we're almost at the A now. That's pretty much it there. Alright, I'll show you what the lip of this container now looks like. So the lip of the container looks like that now, where the paint's just run off, and our paint is up to our, oh, it's just above our A. Must have kept pouring, doesn't matter, we'll just compensate for that. So yeah, that's what it looks like anyway, and as you peel that tape off, it'll keep a nice clean edge on the top of the paint tin. So the lip of the tin's all nice and clean. Good to push this guy back on. Alright, so this is our epoxy hardener. And when you take the lid off these, sometimes the hardener dries around the lid and it causes little pieces of flakes of it to fall in. Now it is good to run filters, but again, I'm not going to be I'm going to be sanding this anyway, so it doesn't really matter. That's our A there, and we're just going to fill it up to like the bottom of the next A because we've slightly gone over by about 3 mil. That's pretty good there. Keep a rag nearby with thinners on it too. That way you can always wipe around the lips of containers. Alright, you didn't see what I just did, but I just wiped around the edge of this lip to make sure it was nice and clean. The main reason for that is for next time when you go to use it. Alright, now we just grab our thinners and just thin it out as much as you think it should be. Now the thing is, I've been doing it for a while, so I kind of know how much thinners I want to put in. I want to know what the paint feels like, but so you just follow the edge of the measuring cups and you'll get it pretty good. The paint just feels a little bit thick to me, so just add a little bit more reducer. But the consistency you kind of want is a little bit thicker than water, not much thicker, just enough so you can see it staying on the end of the mixing stick. So if it's straight up, you can see a lip just grabbing on the edge, but it pretty much levels out. It's pretty good to how thick you want it. So our paint's mixed, and we just pour one into the other. Alright, we're all good to go. Paint in the gun, get the compressor, let's do it. Alright, it's just been 15 minutes, we're throw this second coat on and we're done. We're done. Tuesday. It's been 15 minutes and I'm going to flip this bonnet, going to flip this door over and put some chocolate wood under it so this part here doesn't touch the panel stand. Okay, so that's exactly what I mean. So these edges here aren't touching the panel stand. Cool. I'll just wipe it down quickly again, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, we're all good to go. Let's do it. Alright, cool. It's been 15 minutes. We're about to hit it with another coat. Just one thing is pay attention to how much paint you've got left in your gun. Like, I know I've got enough left to do this door now, but once you've gotten used to painting, make sure that you even before, just make sure you've got too much paint rather than not enough. So that way you can finish the coat you're doing, because if you run out halfway and have to go and mix up more, it's a pain in the ass. It also apparently doesn't bond the same by mixing up new stuff. I mean, that's why they have, like, say, 2 coats, so one can key into the other one. And when you mix up more with different, well, you're still doing a 4-to-1 mixture, but you're not mixing it the same. Like, it's not exactly the same. And apparently it doesn't key the same. Like, I have painted it before where it's where I've run out halfway and I've needed to mix up more, and it's worked fine for me. But, like, yeah, whatever the specifications say, just try and follow them. Alright, let's do it. Alright, cool, that's our second coat done. I'll bring you down here, give you a look at the panel. Looks alright, and that should be it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Look, I'm pretty excited that we've got pretty much half the car done now. I'm a little bit concerned about the deadline, and a bit concerned about the rest of the car. Like I've still got the boot to do, but I'm a bit worried about the roof and the rear quarters and that part. And the main reason is if I pop the rear window out and front window, I've then got it sitting outside and the rain and the elements can get into the car. Now I don't really want that. Like I'm thinking I'm actually going to pass that part of the car off to a shop. Now I don't really want to do it, but the thing is I just can't have it here. It's not feasible for me to be able to pull the windscreens out and do it that way. I have actually thought about doing it in sections, so just grinding the inside of the roof and painting that in epoxy, and then just doing one side, working my way around there, but we'll get there when we get there. Cool. Anyway, thanks for watching. I got one other thing too. A couple of people asked me about the shirts, and they asked why I've got these wheels on it. Now the main reason I got these wheels is because I'm actually putting SSR mesh wheels on the car. That's what I purchased to go on there. So here's the wheels that I purchased, and these are 15 by 7.5 positive 3s, and I've got some to go on the rear which are 15 by 8 positive 1, I think, something like that. Anyway, so that's the reason why my car on my shirt has SSR meshes on it. What else? Look, thanks for watching, and I'll bring you back with another installment next Sunday. Thanks very much. Let's do it.